the college basketball at ABC, presented by Amerisave Mortgage. And you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. Big 12 basketball coming your way today from Stillwater, Oklahoma. And we get a good matchup. Oklahoma State taking on Texas from Gallagher-Iba Arena, number 6 Texas. Longhorns, though, have dropped 3 of their last 4. Welcome in, everybody. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla. We'll get to Texas in a moment, but, Fran, we're going to talk some draft today, and one of the reasons for that, the guy in the Oklahoma State roster that leads him, Cade Cunningham. He was thought to be the top recruit coming into the season, and now he just might be the number 1 pick in the draft. What's your take on him?
So far, so good, John. He's lived up to the hype. Is he Luka Doncic or Grant Hill? Not sure yet. But he's that kind of player, a 6'8", playmaking wing player, built like a linebacker, handles the ball, very unselfish, sees the game the right way, and actually an improved jump shooter. So he's scoring points as well as distributing the rock.
All right, check out the standings now. We mentioned Texas. Everybody's looking up at unbeaten Baylor. They're 9-0. The Longhorns 5-3. They had a couple of stoppages because of COVID and obviously losing players. This is a big one for Shaka Smart's team.
Well, it's a big one for both teams. When you're playing in the middle of a great conference like this, you have 3 or 4 or 5 biggest games of the season. This is one of them for both teams. Texas loses of 3 of 4, and Oklahoma State, who's played well, coming off a loss to TCU. Must win for both teams.
So Boog and Fran with he is. Sims wins the tip, and we are underway. Oklahoma State in the white, Texas in the burnt orange. Good feed, Sims, as Coleman finds his man for the dunk to start it off.
That's what we call a 45-degree cut from the weak side. Jericho Sims saw the help, gravitate to the ball, and he cut right behind him.
More geometry coming up later in the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
That one goes opposite as Likely feeds inside. And Boone able to hit. Caleb Boone knocks it down.
John, he's played very, very well as of late, minus the game versus TCU, where he really was, according to Mike Boynton, a no-show. But Mike Boynton goes right to the young big guy, first possession.
Inside Jones, kick out opposite. Ramey's been red hot from 3. Reverses, couldn't finish. Sims inside. Shaka Smart had to sit following a test positive for COVID, and here's what he had to say. This was not a walk in the park for me. When you go through that kind of stuff, it certainly swirls some things around in your mind. He told us watching their Oklahoma game, he said, I was not in a great state of mind. He wasn't totally clear and lucid. It took a lot out of him. They had a stretch as a team where they went 19 days between having their full 11 scholarships together for a practice.
Yeah, and John, you know, one of the things around college basketball this year with COVID protocols is people like us don't hear the real story from the inside. Who's missing practice, who's a positive, who's contact tracing. And, you know, Shaka told us last night, we have to become the team we were 19 days ago. And I know he's glad to have virtually everybody back now.
Little pressure here, and the Cowboys break it. Right side jumper, a little too strong, but a put back there.
And likely their point guard, who we know can rebound the basketball, one of the best rebounding guards in the country. Remember this offense now. It's going to be a spread offense. The guards are going to play a lot of isolation basketball.
Sims inside being harassed. Step back, little short. Rebound is pulled down. And a block. Texas. On the Cowboys side, Mike Boynton, 4th season as the head coach. 10 overall wins against AP top 25, 5 against the top 10. And a guy who's been influenced by a number of different people. But, you know, Mike Young is one that he mentioned. He talked about Dave Odom as well, Eddie Fogler.
Yes, Mike has certainly been bathed in great coaching mentorship by those guys. Frank Martin as well. Brad Underwood, certainly now the coach at Illinois. And by the way, kudos again to Mike Holder, the athletic director here, who took a chance on this young guy without any head coaching experience in a power conference. And this is his best team.
Inside, that one a little bit strong from Anderson, and now Texas the other way. Jones from deep.
Andrew Jones is playing the best basketball of his career. And, of course, the documented bout with leukemia, 3 years. Hopefully he's in the rearview mirror.
Here's Cade Cunningham now. Cunningham getting inside, harassed, kicks it out.
Not a lot of blemishes with Cade Cunningham, John. Ball handling and decision-making at times can be a little better, but he certainly has a great package. I love this.
Go a little high-low right there. So Guard gets in, and then they flip it into Caleb Boone. 2 more for him from the elbow. Jones, that wouldn't go. Rebound there, though, from Ham, and the follow wouldn't fall. And it's a foul on Royce Ham after he missed the shot for going over the back.
Yeah, this is a terrific energy guy, Royce Ham Jr. He's got to do a better job of finishing around the basket. A lot of times young big guys take their eye off the target and they throw that ball up there with really getting 2 eyes on the rim. And I think Royce has a tendency to do that. Love his energy.
Oklahoma State coming off a loss at TCU, a game that was certainly in their hands in the late stages. Beat inside. Boone. Texas, meanwhile, at home, coming off a loss to unbeaten Baylor. That time, it's Courtney Ramey charged with the foul. But Texas, not that it was a secret, going up against another team in the league. You know, one of the things, Fran, for Texas, they're old, they're confident, they've got experience. Well, so's Baylor. And they're super talented, too.
And no question, John. And Baylor, I thought the other night, showed you how and why they're considered one of the 2 dominant teams in college basketball, head and shoulders above everybody else to this point. I think on the other hand, this Cowboy team, very similar to where Texas was a couple years ago, but of course they have Cade Cunningham to run the show.
And one of the things that Mike Boynton talked to us about with Cade Cunningham is at times he'll want to just kind of feel the game out. You know, against Kansas, knowing, well, this is Kansas, he came out and went right after it. But there have been other games where Cade Cunningham is just kind of feeling it out. And the numbers at times bearing that out, where in the first half he's a little slow, doesn't shoot as much, and then Cade Cunningham in the second half, and especially in the late stages, really getting it going. But look at the Big 12. First half averaging under 6 points a game. In the second half, basically twice as many. The field goal percentage goes up.
Yeah, that looks like a positive, John, but it's one of the only complaints I have with the young man, because they've lost 3 out of 4 league games by 3 points or less. And my thought process is, hey, let's go, man. We don't need to be down 5 at the half, okay? You're the best player in the country. We need you to be the dominant player from start to finish. And the unselfishness is obviously a positive, and that's going to wear well in the NBA when he's around great players. But for the 1 year in Stillwater, I want to see him take over a little bit more earlier in the game and not feel it out. NBA games, John, are 48 minutes. There's 100 possessions in those games. You got more chance to feel the game out, not as much in college.
Well, he's not going to have a choice now in terms of feeling it out, because he's picked up 2 quick fouls, and we're just over 3.5 minutes into the game, and so that bears watching. He's a little frustrated right now. Cade Cunningham sitting.
Yeah, 2 early fouls, just like the other night at TCU when we got a chance to go over and see him. Mike Schmitz is going to be joining us next. We watched the game.
Ramey up ahead, rejected, and out of bounds. It'll stay with Texas. Courtney Ramey, one of the guys, he missed their Oklahoma game as he sat following COVID protocols. And in that loss at home against Oklahoma, they were without 3 scholarship players and 2 starters.
Yep. Associate head coach KT Turner did a great job on one day of practice.
Coleman tried to feed, ends up turning it over. Timeout on the court. 2 early fouls for Cade Cunningham, but Oklahoma State leads by 2. Mike Schmitz, our NBA draft analyst, will join us on the other side. Saturday show. Back in Stillwater, Oklahoma State by a couple. Cade Cunningham with a couple of early fouls. And let's hear from Cade Cunningham at our Wendy's Wood Watch.
Being in contention for all these awards is a blessing. You know, it's crazy to hear my name with all the top players in the country in my first year and everything. But all the credit goes to my teammates. To allow freshmen to come in and have them embrace me how they have, it's really a team award for anything that I might win. And, you know, I'm not going to receive it solely. I'm going to receive it as a teammate, and all my teammates are winning that same award with me.
He has been as advertised. Our Wendy's Wooden Watch, Cade Cunningham, but sitting right down with a couple of fouls. We will wait to see how patient Mike Boynton is as far as the foul trouble. Oklahoma State with the basketball to foul on Texas. As we welcome in our ESPN NBA draft analyst, Mike Schmitz, who is courtside. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. I'm bad luck because 2 games in a row, Cade, with 2 early fouls. But can't complain anytime you get to watch the #1 pick.
Yeah, no question. And let's talk a little bit about Cade Cunningham. How do NBA teams see him? What are the things they really like about him as a player? And Sims puts it home and he'll go to the line.
They love his versatility. You know, the modern NBA is all about guys with positional size and length who can pass, dribble, shoot, and that's Cade Cunningham to a T. I mean, he's 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, 220, and can really play anywhere 1 through 4. And I was able to sit down with him yesterday for about an hour and break down his film, his strengths, his weaknesses, and I've done that with probably over 100 prospects over the last few years, and he's one of the most impressive I've ever sat down with, just in terms of his maturity, his feel for the game. He knows every pick and roll read, spacing, defensive coverages. I mean, I felt like I was really talking to an NBA vet. So when you have a guy with those measurables who can really play anywhere from the point guard spot to the 4, that's a pretty high-level prospect.
Mike, where are a couple areas that you think he can continue to evolve and improve as a player as he heads to the best league in the world?
Yeah, the biggest thing for him is just bringing it every possession. You know, early on in this game, we saw a couple blow-bys, defensively. I think he has the tools to be a really good defender. He has a high IQ in that regard. But just he relaxes at times. And he talked about that yesterday, just needing to be an everyday guy, needing to be aggressive offensively. He needs to put 2 halves together. And then continuing to fine-tune the shooting and creating against athletes, because he's not this big-time run-and-jump athlete. So that's something NBA scouts are going to question. Like, is he someone you give the ball to like a Luka Doncic, or is he more someone who's kind of a playmaking wing?
How good a shooter is he in your mind?
Well, that was one of his biggest weaknesses coming into this season, and I've been really impressed with his growth in that regard. I think he still has room to improve off the catch, but off the dribble, I mean, we've seen him create space with step backs, pullback moves, can shoot, off of rhythm dribbles. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for him at all in the NBA. Jericho Sims with a big-time block there. But I think the shooting is going to be just fine, and passing is really his best skill in my regard.
Mike, let's gravitate to the Texas kids. Kai Jones, Greg Brown. Kai Jones is a kid that early on, you didn't have him in the top 60 to start, but man, you must be impressed with the way his potential is anyway, as you moved him up into that first round. What do you like about Kai Jones?
Yeah, we saw it right there on that possession, just his defensive versatility. You know, this is a guy who at 6'11" can sit down and slide with guards. He can protect the rim. He's shooting over 40% from three so far this season. And Fran, I believe you saw him out in Treviso, Italy at Eurocamp, and just the progress he's made since then at his age. I mean, there you can see just catching the ball in traffic. You know, he's a big-time athlete, and I'm just looking at the way the NBA has trended with bigs who can run and jump and shoot the three ball and switch and block shots, and that's exactly who Kai Jones is.
Coleman down the other way, and he gets fouled, and Matt Coleman will go to the line. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla, and our ESPN NBA draft analyst Mike Schmitz. Stillwater, Oklahoma. Mike's in Stillwater. Fran is in Dallas. I'm in New York, and yet here we are in your living room. Texas by a point. All right, Mike, if Cade Cunningham doesn't go one, who will? Or at least who are the candidates in your mind?
Evan Mobley is the biggest threat there. You know, I live out in L.A., so I've been thankful enough to see him probably 6 or 7 times live this year. And 7 feet tall, 7'4" wingspan, can switch everything defensively, protects the rim, can step out and shoot the three handle. Kind of like Cade, has very few holes in his game. Reminds me a little bit of a young Anthony Davis. Now, I know that's high praise, and AD really improved in a lot of areas over the course of his NBA career, but it's just very rare that you see guys 7 feet tall who move the way he does. And so he's the biggest threat to me. You have some other great college players there. Jalen Suggs has had a tremendous year. Jalen Johnson. But I think it's a two-man race at #1 right now.
I'm a little older, Mike, so I like the Chris Bosh comparison with Mobley, but I definitely get AD. Hey, tell us about Jalen Suggs. He's on a great team. Obviously, they've got 3 potential All-Americans. How does he get evaluated by somebody like you when you're trying to pick out, like some nights he doesn't even have to score and they win by 25. What's your take on Jalen Suggs and his long-term future as an NBA guard?
Yeah, I love his toughness, just what he brings to the table on the defensive end of the floor. Reminds you a little bit of kind of a Drew Holiday type of guard who's really always going to impact the winning and doesn't need to be the primary guy. Now, when people argue Suggs versus Cade, I always say, you know, what would Cade look like if he were surrounded by Corey Kispert and Drew Timme and Joel Ayayi? So, you know, I still think Cade is a little bit more talented as a prospect, but Jalen Suggs has been tremendous this year. And, you know, I think scouts are going to go back and watch his AAU film in high school and see him in different settings because it is difficult to watch a guy playing on the best team in America the role that he does.
Caleb Boone doing the job inside, got the rebound, got fouled. His Cowboys down by 2. Again, Cade Cunningham in the early going. He has not scored, picked up a couple of quick fouls. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla, our ESPN NBA draft analyst. Mike Schmitz joining us. On the Texas side, a guy who's a big recruit for shot this morning, Greg Brown. You know, one of the things, before I finish the question, these younger guys who normally in a non-COVID situation would have been on campus sooner, would have gotten a chance to play more, would have played in these early season tournaments. You wonder about how their development has been affected. And so I take you to Greg Brown and ask you, where do you see him and what would be his best move?
Yeah, I think Greg is going to be a first-round pick, you know, regardless of how he finishes this season, just because of the athletic traits. I mean, anytime you're 6'9", jump out of the gym like that with a 7-foot wingspan and have a chance to make an open three, you know, you're most likely going to be in the NBA for a long time. So he's improved a little bit over the last 10 games, started out the gates slowly, but he's shooting over 40% from three his last 9 contests. Still needs to improve as a decision maker, but I think NBA scouts really like the athletic piece. And then Cade Cunningham there just showing off the vision. That's his best skill at the next level, in my opinion.
And I thought, Mike, he was very careful with the 2 fouls to not run anybody over. Nice piece of balance right there. And Caleb Boone, John, continues to be a great garbage man inside. Really athletic sophomore.
Loose ball. Jones picks it up. Oh, I thought he walked. There he is. And he dunked it.
Mike, I think the thing about Kai Jones that's really impressed me from the start of the season is the skill level. You know, the shooting. He has a feel for the game along with the defensive potential.
Yeah, and he's just a ball of clay, really, right now. I mean, the progress he's made over the last few years offensively, I mean, he can put it down. He has a little bit of feel for the game, has more vision, you know, than most guys in his mold. So, no question, I mean, the future is very bright long-term for Pat Jones.
My body's been described as a ball of clay, but not usually in a positive sense, Mike. I'm going to take that under advisement. I might use that going forward.
Well, that's what we call it. Pat Jones right there. He's NBA silly putty because whoever drafts this kid is going to mold him in the type of player he can be with that size, length, and athleticism.
So here in the early going, it's Texas leading Oklahoma State. Mike Schmitz, thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate you helping us out, giving us some insight on the NBA draft and Cade Cunningham and the rest of the Texas draft prospects.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. Mike Schmitz right there, our ESPN draft analyst. And
I'm jealous. He's in Stillwater, John. I'm jealous.
I know it. No, legit. I mean, look, Franny, these games are fun when we are on site and we've worked, you know, tens of games in all these spots. There's a steal and a takeaway and a dunk. And Oklahoma State has tied it up as Rondell Walker with the steal and the deuce.
Yeah, that's another freshman, young man from Oklahoma City. Excellent defensive player. You see a little zone now by Oklahoma State, mixing it up. Mike Boynton's got the fastball. He's got the curveball with the zone. He mixes up his defense really well.
Jones jump stop, fading back, couldn't hit. Rebound is collected by Donovan Williams, and then a foul inside. Under 12 timeout. Well, Mike Boynton's been active. It's Black History Month, and his secret hero will be revealed. That's coming up. Mike Boynton's top players saddled with a couple of fouls, but right now tied up at 12 apiece. Mike Boynton active on Twitter, and he's been doing hashtag historical hidden figures and, you know, shouting out different people, African-Americans in history that have made an impact, like John Chaney, Garrett Morgan, Ruby Bridges, and, of course, Thurgood Marshall as well. And today, John McClendon, who is a Hall of Fame coach and a guy who impacted the game of basketball in many different ways. And as it says right there, from not even being allowed to play on the team at Kansas to being a guy that influenced the way the game is taught. And so John McClendon is the guy that he acknowledges. He studied basketball under James Naismith at Kansas, coached at NC Central, among others, credited with inventing the fast break, the full court press, and the four corners offense. And, you know, Fran, one of the things when you think about his time coaching at North Carolina Central was the secret game, the game that they played against the Duke Medical School. And, you know, back in a time when there was no, Jim Crow and, you know, schools being segregated, and you didn't see African Americans playing against white players.
March 1944, he had a great team at North Carolina College, now at UNC Central. The Duke Medical team was a bunch of former college players who were studying in medical school, many of them off to the war, coming back to the war, and they played on a Sunday morning in March. They had to sneak into the UNC Central gym to play the game. UNC Central won handily against some really good college players, John. After that game, they mixed up the teams, they integrated the teams, played a couple more games, but the overall 30,000 foot picture of John McClendon is this. He is one of the greatest contributors to the game of basketball ever. You say Iba, Claire B, Pete Newell, John McClendon belongs in that same breath. In 1979, he was elected, as you see these pictures from North Carolina Central, to the Basketball Hall of Fame as a contributor. It was an outrage to many of us. I wasn't around in '79, but as I got to know who Coach McClendon was, it was an outrage because he was a great coach and not just a contributor. 2016, it was rectified by the Naismith Hall of Fame. He is now not only in the hall as a contributor and as a coach, but his Tennessee A&I team, one of the great teams in college basketball history, three-time NAIA champions, 57, 58, 59, has also been inducted. But John McClendon sits right up there with B and Iba and the great ones.
In close, but Donovan Williams couldn't finish. Right there, though, Kai Jones does. And it's Texas by 4.
Yeah, Kai Jones, John, has gotten so much better from his freshman year. When you see a kid with this length and athleticism, the tricky thing is he is an outstanding defender. He and Jericho Sims are as good guarding guards as any two big players in the country. You see right there.
Now, baseline and foul called. Gonna choppy first half. Well, for more information and more Black history, always storytelling, visit theundefeated.com. And there's so much great stuff on The Undefeated. I also want to point out something that Mike Boynton said. And, you know, he talked about his relationship with Shaka Smart. I mean, they're competing today. He needs a win today against Shaka Smart. And yet, he was very open about the idea that when you're talking about the advancement of, you know, African Americans as coaches at the Division I level, yeah, it's in Mike Boynton's best interest for Shaka Smart to succeed. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, and both of these guys have been extremely influential in cultivating young Black assistant coaches to get them prepared for the job as a head coach. And Mike Boynton said to us yesterday, and I can relate to this, because when I was an assistant coach, I had great mentors who didn't just have me recruit, look at this, but teach them how to be a head coach. And he's had some of those mentors in his background, as we've already pointed out.
Sloppy turnover right there. Yeah. Shaka Smart, a guy who has made such an impact at Texas, but Black Coaches University, created by Shaka Smart last spring, and really just trying to mentor Black assistant coaches at all levels. It's grown to over 70 members. I think the point ultimately would be this. You know, 12% in the Power 5 are head coaches. But, Fran, you know, let's just cut to the chase. A lot higher percentage on the court are African American than 12%. So it does not reflect the population of the playing culture.
No, it doesn't, and we've lived through this now, at least in my whole career, and that's why the pandemic and the situation with George Floyd this summer did something, I think, really helpful. A lot of coaches, Black and white, have started to take it upon themselves to, you know, mentor some bright young assistant coaches to be head coaches and be successful. Andrew Jones is having a terrific Big 12 season. He really is. Young man from MacArthur.
Shaka Smart, his team on the road. Time out of the court. Andrew Jones buries the 3. Texas by 9. Ravi set, thank you. Back in Stillwater, 8:17 to go first half. Number 6, Texas, taking on Oklahoma State. Texas on a 7-0 run. Cade Cunningham shut out so far with a couple of fouls. When we talked with Mike Boynton yesterday, Fran, he mentioned sometimes he kind of tries to feel things out. They're going to get him to get aggressive here.
Yeah, no question. There's so much to love about this kid. He plays the game the right way. His handle's is a little shaky, I might add. But I don't like the fact that, as he buries that, right on cue, that he takes so long to get going in Big 12 games. He is the best player on the court every night, and he's a great teammate. But they have lost 4 games by 3 points or less, and we just can't rely on late-game heroics. He's got to be great early.
Ramey can't hit. Sims with a big rebound. And they find Jones spotting up. He misses the shot. Williams collects. He's blocked. Blocked again, and now Cunningham has it.
Yeah, Donovan Williams babied that ball up. You love the effort, but he's got to finish that.
And there's a 3 from Farron Flavors Jr.
this guy had not played for a month until the game against TCU. He came off the bench and knocked down 2 big threes. He's a four school and 4-year guy. Last year he shot 42% at Cal Baptist. Can really shoot it.
He had a finger injury and a shooting hand. Cunningham. That little teardrop wouldn't go, and now it's Jones speeding up ahead. Lost the handle. Cunningham takes it away. Cowboys basketball down by 3.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good move right there, Avery Anderson.
I love the way Avery Anderson has grown up as a sophomore. Really athletic, one of the fastest players in the Big 12. Avery Anderson getting it done. Flavor of the month.
Texas by a point. John Shelby framed for Schiller. And number 6 Texas, just their 3rd game since January 16th. Jericho Sims and the Longhorns. Yeah, it's been hard. They haven't had a ton of practice time altogether.
No, they got 8 turnovers today, shooting 30%. They don't look like the team that we're used to seeing early in the year. And a lot of that, certainly some of it is Oklahoma State, but some of it is, I think, the layover. A little zone now coming out of the break. Timeout. I think right now Texas is not attacking the rim at all. Now, Caleb Boone has gotten better and better every week of the season, John. And unlike Keelan, his brother, who spends more time on the perimeter, Kalen reminds me, he really reminds me of those old school Eddie Sutton forwards that he had back in the 2000s. But Texas is not going strong to the basket and not forcing contact.
Still to come tonight, North Carolina and Duke. That's at 6 Eastern. Feed inside of Cunningham was targeting Caleb Boone that time. Couldn't find him. 1-point game here.
Yeah, that was actually a great pass by Cade Cunningham. And no offense to Caleb Boone. Watch this now. This is going to be caught in the NBA. Watch this pass right here. Right on the hands. If you throw that ball to an NBA big man, he will catch that ball. And Cade Cunningham, it's one of the issues. He's not playing with great talent. Got to finish that. And John, the 2 things about watching Cade Cunningham in college are this. The lane is crowded. There's more, there's just so much action happening in there. Everybody is jamming the lane, so he doesn't have room to drive. The other thing is he is playing with players who are certainly not NBA-level players, and his unselfishness, his vision in passing will be a real strength at the NBA level.
So here's Avery Anderson to the line. Gets the first. Anderson averaging just over 9 points a game, a little under 4 rebounds a game. We're tied up 23 apiece.
Last year, Avery Anderson, as a freshman, was 2 of 26 behind the arc. And, John, he kept both teams in the game last season. He really did. But this year, the improvement has been dramatic. Little fake pressure here by Oklahoma State. He is one of the fastest players in the Big 12. Young man out of Northwest Dallas-Fort Worth, if you will. Justin up by Texas Motor Speedway.
Coleman will try. Straight on. Wouldn't go.
Every Big 12 game decided in the month of February and March will be because of the backcourts. Whichever guard combination plays well, that team will have a huge advantage. So far in this game, both backcourts have been just okay.
Texas has missed 6 straight field goals. Brown feed to Jones. And they're just inside the 3-point line. Sims had it for a moment, and then it's taken away as Likely has it. Likely to the basket, rejected. Oklahoma State by a point. Well, our big Monday doubleheader coming your way on ESPN in the at North Carolina. in Chapel Hill, 7 Eastern. And then these Cowboys, Oklahoma State, will take on number 23 Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. And that comes your way at 9 Eastern.
Kansas trailing West Virginia right now. Kansas has not lost 10 games in a season since 1989. They've got 6 right now, trailing today. Cowboys have already defeated the Jayhawks here in Stillwater earlier in Big 12 play, so that will be again. John, we'll say this about 5 more times. Biggest game of the year Monday night for Kansas and Oklahoma State. And it's really true because it's all now a trickle down, if you will, as we head to March.
Coleman uses the screen, gets into the lane, flips it up and in. Matt Coleman with the deuce.
5 points for Coleman. He's had a really solid senior year. Kansas does a lot of switching on the perimeter. That time they break down. Excuse me, I said Kansas. I meant Texas.
Brown down. Boone rebounds, and here's Likely. That one off the mark from Flavors.
Yeah, too many quick shots right now, both ways. This is a defensive struggle. Texas has 9 turnovers, Oklahoma State 7.
And a travel. Oklahoma State 26, number 6 Texas 25, a tight one in Stillwater. And we'll be right back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Fellas, Cade Cunningham's Cowboys up by a point.
Seth pretty much summarized the first 17 minutes of this game. Guard play has not been great. Of course, Cade Cunningham, 2 fouls. That slowed him down early. But that has been the pattern for the Cowboys and Cade Cunningham in Big 12 play. Which means we should be looking forward to a great second half from Cade. That's nice. That is
inside
nice.
Boone and puts him home.
Yep, better and better. This young man is really improving, coming off a double-double against Arkansas last Saturday, 16 and 12. Look at the patience. And he just spins underneath Royce Ham. Watch that. That's good patience, John. You know, I once talked to Kevin McHale about low post play because he's the ultimate authority. And what Caleb Boone just did right there was perfect. Kevin said take 2 or 3 crab dribbles to the middle of the lane and then figure out how the defense is playing you. Royce Ham cut off the middle. Caleb spun baseline, and he made it look easy. It's a simple game in the post if you can get those big guys to locate the defense, locate the middle of the lane, and slow down. A little more zone here by the Cowboys. 2-3.
Ramey. Brown. And typical offensive interference.
A very tough first half for Texas on the offensive end. 10 turnovers, shooting under 30%. And this was watch Greg Brown right here. You love the athleticism. I never minded that. He's just trying to make a play. It's an instinct play. Error of commission.
Coleman pulls it down. Longhorns down by 4. Ramey will try a 3.
2 for 10 for Texas behind the arc so far in this first half. Mismatch.
Inside and now Boone. And 2 more and Boone has 11.
Great recognition that time by Oklahoma State. They saw the mismatch, size advantage, and Caleb Boone took his time. That was a guard big switch. Now take a look. Andrew Jones is going to try to guard the big fella who's getting. And here's that move again, John. You notice that crab dribble to the middle? Dribble or 2, protect the ball, and make that simple move over the guard, Andrew Jones. He had the size advantage, and that was really well done. Really, really good fundamental low post play by Caleb from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
He's been the story. Avery Anderson with 8. One of the things we pointed out, Cade Cunningham with just 3. Here's the other thing. Matthew Alexander Moncrief, who's got a double-double in 3 of their last 4. He played 34 minutes against TCU, 31 against Arkansas, 33 against Iowa State, 32 against Baylor. That's their last 4 games. He hasn't played in this game.
Yeah, he's a high-energy kid. Because we're not there, we don't really know the circumstances. Try to find out at the half, but I love him. He has the same energy as Boone and Anderson.
See if he's in the doghouse or what, you know? And Coleman able to rattle it home.
Yeah, for Texas to win this game, their guard play has to be a lot better in the second half. Ramey, Jones, and Coleman have been the reason at one time this year this was the number 4 team in the country.
The Taco Bell Chalupa. So chewy, so flaky, nothing could make it better. Well played, Bacon. Well played. The Chalupa just keeps getting better. The Bacon Club Chalupa, now at Taco Bell.
Oklahoma State on a 17-4 run. Texas had its largest lead, 23-14. It's really settled in. It has not been an offensive thing of beauty here on either side. But
No, but I'll tell you, John, Oklahoma State's found something. The shots aren't going. They're only 2 for 7 behind the arc. They don't shoot a ton of threes anyway. Only 25% of their points in a given game are from behind the arc, and that's a very low number, 300. But they found something with Caleb DeBruyne, and to Mike Boynton's credit, he's gonna go right at it. And I said this last game, some coaches offensively, they play battleship. They just guess when they call a play, hoping for a hit. Good coaches find the weakness and attack it. And that's what they've done in Texas inside in the first half.
And number 20, Keelan Boone in for the Bucks.
Bryce Williams checking in. Caleb Boone's twin brother Keelan checking in.
Keelan had a double-double to start the season at UTA, so he's capable of rebounding that ball as well. Short again. Have you noticed how many of those missed threes are hitting front rim? You've got a chance here to get 2 more shots if you can get one up on the rim shortly.
Bryce Williams here. Williams handling inside hands and rounds it home.
Terrific athlete. The transfer from Ole Miss. He has been a huge spark for Mike Boynton this season. Came in with 1 year to play, could shoot it, and he is athletic.
And the fans at Gallagher Iba and the cutouts all making some noise. Cowboys by 8, loose ball.
It looked like the clock ran a little bit after the whistle. I wonder if anybody picked it up. John, remember, this is an 8-point lead, and Cade Cunningham has 3 points in 16 minutes with those 2 fouls. So this is a good sign. In fact, if history is any indicator, Cade Cunningham is going to be a big factor in the second half with this 8-point lead.
.1 seconds left, 3 on the shot clock, so they got to get rid of it here. Ramey does, misses. Brown, rebound, put back. Are they saying no? Gary Maxwell, what do you got?
Well, I thought they had a clock issue before that last ball came in bounds, and it looks like they may have another one right here. They're going to take a look.
Gary Maxwell on the left, Keith Kimball in the middle, Kirby sitting on the right.
Hey, Mike, just
This team on quite a run.
Yeah, hey, John, just checking with Oklahoma State. Moncrief had a foot injury in the TCU game, and he is out for today. He's day-to-day, so thank you, Stephen Howard, back in Stillwater for the update, because that young man's a big part of this team.
See what they're trying to figure out here.
Yeah.
Ramey.
We can't hear a whistle, so you can see the clock is still running. And, John, before that ball came in, I thought the clock moved a few tenths of a second down to 6.1, but they never checked it, didn't realize it. Now you see the DV Sport monitor right there. Got to go over there and play with it. Get this right. Let's go back to the play before and just watch, John. Okay, there's the whistle, and you see that clock runs down about 6 or 7 tenths of a second, and unfortunately, the officials never picked that up. Now, they're over at the monitor right now, and let's see if they can go correct this couple of timing errors. Certainly a timing error at the very end.
Well, so I think that Greg Brown's basket, I don't know that counted. It seemed as though they had started to wave that off.
Yeah, they reviewed it. See, you could go to the monitor to review a timing issue. And as long as the whistle didn't blow and stop the play dead, they just want to make sure that they get this right. See, that ball's up. Now here comes Brown.
Yeah.
They counted it.
Yep. And the first half will come to a close. Cade Cunningham limited to 3 points. But in the first half, Caleb Boone with 13. They finish on a 21-6 run. Oklahoma State with a lead, 35-29. Now we send it back to the studio. Here is Carl Ravitch. Welcome back to college basketball on ABC, presented by Amerisave Mortgage. At the break, Oklahoma State leading Texas. It is 35-29. Everybody, John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla. A couple of teams needing a win in conference play. And, Fran, we focused on Cade Cunningham to open the game, likely the #1 pick in the draft. It was kind of bumpy in the first half. He got some early foul trouble. He didn't play great.
Another slow start for Cade Cunningham, which means hang on to your hat because we're going to see a great second half. But, you know, John, 1 for 7, 2 quick fouls, much like the game at TCU on Wednesday. He struggled, and I think it has to bode well for Oklahoma State that he played poorly in the first half, and they are still up 6. And the reason they're up 6 is the continued emergence of sophomore forward center Caleb Boone. We know him as a rebounder and shot blocker, and he's now been in double figures offensively 4 of the last 5 games, heading to another double-double. Very, very efficient inside. And the one thing about Cade Cunningham's not playing his best early is that this team continues to evolve around him. It is not a one-man show.
Fran, from a Texas perspective, what do they need to do? What does Shaka Smart's team need to do in the second half in order to win this game?
Well, first of all, they've got to score inside. They have struggled to score in the paint. They're only shooting 29% from the field, but I think you got to establish your game inside out. And then, quite frankly, their guards have been so good all season. We need a performance from them on the road to keep from getting on to what would be officially, coaching terms, a schneid 4 to 5 losses. Again, short, John.
That is in the coach's handbook.
Yeah, Schneid is a long losing streak.
Thank you.
It's the Yiddish coach's guide.
Cowboys
those
with
jump
the
shots.
ball.
Sorry, John. Those jump shots are short.
Here's Cunningham into the paint.
Here we go.
He's waiting to land left hand.
Here we go. Yep. Now remember, it's like 6 points in the first half, closer to 12 in the second half in Big 12 play. But I would prefer as a coach to you don't mind getting off to a good start.
Cowboys by 8.
The first time I watched Cade Cunningham practice this year, the thing that stood out to me was just how nondescript he was. He wasn't verbal, and but you couldn't tell he was the best player in the country. He was a teammate. Very popular.
Coleman handles. Shot clock under 10 to the right side. Ball fake. Jones. Three-pointer wouldn't go. And Cunningham the rebound. Cowboys looking to add to an 8-point advantage. Cunningham puts it on the floor. Goes to the rim. Wouldn't go. Loose ball. Out of bounds. And it'll stay with Oklahoma State.
All right, John, what have you noticed about Cade Cunningham so far as you look at his brother Cannon, former SMU Mustang, was a really good player there, and the big reason why Cade is in Stillwater. What have you noticed about Cade in the first minute and a half?
Just more presence, and the ball's in his hand more.
More aggressive, yep. I think he senses it, too. I think being unselfish is a great trait, but sometimes it actually can hurt the team.
Inside, and able to get it to go over the longer Brown.
And this has been the MO for much of the Big 12 season, is Cade Cunningham taking over in the second half.
Back the other way, Sims, offensive rebound, and he puts it home.
Jericho has quietly had a terrific season for Shaka Smart.
Anderson couldn't hit. Brown the rebound. Here come the Longhorns, down 8.
Still in the zone, John, so they don't fear the shooting of the guards so far. Now they're chasing around like they're matching up.
Jones gets inside and has it swatted out of bounds, but I think a foul is called.
Now we're talking 6'8", 220, a freight train. So watch Cunningham now. He's going to take former AAU grassroots teammate Greg Brown to school right there. Cade had 25 in the first meeting against Texas.
Cade Cunningham, by the way, picking up his 3rd foul. The Texas starting guards, by the way, Jones, Coleman, and Ramey have combined to go 3 for 18 from the floor. So that's something you think if Texas is going to pull this out, that's going to have to go in a different direction. Cunningham stays on the floor with the 3 fouls.
That's one of the reasons you might see more zone from Oklahoma State. Travel right there by Boone, a little anxious. I'm sorry. Foul on Sims.
And it's not like we're in the same room, Frank?
Yeah.
Number 5.
John, you've watched. He's out. Are you impressed with Caleb Boone and the development? We've watched it for 2 years now. Yeah.
Cunningham inside, just couldn't finish, but a nice move. Here's Brown the other way. It's a 6-point game. An opportunity here for Texas.
There's that zone again. 2-3 zone. Active guards out top. Again, changing defenses, protecting Cunningham.
Hand. Oh, they got the foul on Royce Hand. So So, Fran, let me ask you something, and I'm not saying, I'm asking this question, not picking on. Explain the rule to me here. Why is this foul on Royce Ham?
Well, let's watch it. He's going to, okay, so there's the answer. He's going after the ball. Great effort, but in going after the ball, he somewhat tackled Avery Anderson. So you could say, wait a minute, incidental contact, but no. He put Anderson at a disadvantage, and that has been probably last 5 years. They're not rewarding great hustle plays if it puts the opponent at a disadvantage, and that was why that was called.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
Feed inside. Here's Boone again. Flips it up, and that wouldn't fall. Brown the rebound, and another chance for Texas to cut into a 6-point deficit.
And Greg Brown's going to travel, John, and this young man, you know, Mike Schmitz, we talked about him earlier as being a first-round pick, and he's talented enough. But he has, I've said this, and this is not it sounds like a criticism, but he's got no game. He's a warrior. He's a great rebounder, but you know what he's going to do. He's either going to shoot the jumper or try to drive to his left. And that time shuffled his feet.
Cunningham at the basket, trying to spin it home, couldn't do it.
Texas has played so poorly, John, by their standards, and they are down 6. They haven't solved the zone yet.
Coleman flips it off. That'll rattle home. Matt Coleman with 7.
Really nice job of shooting that floater before Boone could get a piece of it. He shot that ball from what we call the high paint.
Shot short that time from Likely. Texas back the other way, down just 4.
Again, Texas has got to move that ball versus the zone side to side. They will get shots.
Jones from deep. Got it. And they're within 1.
Excellent ball movement. They allowed themselves to stretch the defense from side to side versus the zone. They didn't attack the first side. They attacked the second side.
Feed inside. Ramey steps in, trying to save it. And it ends up with the Longhorns. Kai Jones still going. Jones give off. Offensive foul.
Well, take a look, John. You're going to attack this zone. Things are not going well for Texas, but good ball movement that time. Side to side. Use all 50 feet. And Andrew Jones will knock it down.
All right, a reminder later today on ESPN and the app, North Carolina Duke facing off in a Sonic blockbuster. That's in Durham at 6 Eastern, and then it's the border battle between number 11 Tennessee and Kentucky from Rupp Arena. North Carolina Duke, Tennessee, and Kentucky coming up tonight.
It's hard to imagine with Kansas losing today. You see how close those last 100 meetings, John. The Blue Bloods this year really struggling. By the way, I think this is going to be a great game tonight because both teams, for the first time in a long time, have a sense of desperation about getting into the NCAA tournament. Nothing a given right now.
Good read from Kai Jones. He steps in, picks up the steal, and Texas on a 9-0 run. And an opportunity to take the lead.
Got to solve that zone by Keith. See, they haven't moved it to the second side yet. There you go. You got to get at least 2 or 3 changes of sides to get the defense to move. See, that's too much. Too much dribble.
Brown a 3. And they called the shove. Kirby sitting at the call.
There you see Greg Brown again shooting those threes. Not his strength this year. It's improved. He's up to 32%. But
Kai Jones picks up his 4th. So Jones will grab a seat. Cowboys with the ball up by a point.
John, you like baseball?
A little bit.
Greg Brown's that kid out of, Staten Island who throws 98 miles an hour. and he's going to go to Clemson, and then the Brewers take him with the 4th pick in the draft, and you go, man, I love his future, but we can't put him in the major leagues just yet.
I get it. There's a lot of upside and a lot
Big time. Yeah.
to be polished up.
Yeah. Love his
But it
energy.
doesn't happen immediately.
No. And for most of these kids who come out one and done, usually takes 3-4 years in the league, but you can't turn down that money. You know, someone's going to take you with the 17th pick. Hate to say it, but you have to go, even if you're not ready. Size, athleticism, energy, great young man, by the way. Great family, needless to say. Reminds me of Jaylen Brown at Cal that one year.
Sure.
Cal and Jaylen had his ups and downs as a freshman, and he's turned out to be a tremendous NBA player. And a lot of similarities to me between Greg Brown III. He also hasn't played a lot of high-level basketball in his time. And, of course, you mentioned earlier missing the preseason. 2-3 zone now. Staying in that zone, Cowboys.
Feed inside to Sims. Sims bobbles, and he trapped. The other thing, Fran, is he's a local kid. So as early as April, he normally would have been on campus and running full with some of the guys on the team. Summer school normally starts around June 1st. He would have gotten in and gotten a chance to play then. But you look, his dad played football there. Mom as well, an athlete. And, you know, he's got all the makings of a really good player.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him. We Zoomed in November, and I just was impressed with him as a young man as well. Oh, wow.
Good put back there as Jones collected it.
Yeah, Andrew came from...
to go there within one.
He snuck in from out of bounds, and he almost was out of bounds when he had that ball, but good heads up. This is a good thing for Texas. They have played poorly, and they are in the game.
Yeah. Here's Cunningham. Sims popped out. Ramey on Cunningham. Step back. Shot wouldn't go. And it's Jones grabbing it, moving it into the front court. And again, Texas a chance to take the lead.
Back to man-to-man, it looks like now for Cowboys.
Sims inside, shot short as Boone contested.
Yeah, see, Jericho is not a low-post scorer. He gets it off the dunker spot.
And that's a travel. It's a turnover.
Jericho Sims has had a really good senior year, defensively, rebounding. He's one of the best big man defenders in college basketball. I just don't like throwing it into him 2 or 3 times in a row and expecting him to get a basket. I'd rather him crash the glass off of a lob, a miss, offensive rebound. And you see his numbers the last 7 games certainly improving. And the reason he shoots 81% is not because of his low post game. It's all the garbage points that happen with this backcourt getting to the paint.
Coleman handling, give off to Cunningham.
Nice pass.
Good ball movement. Ramey with the bucket, and Texas has the lead.
Yeah, they put Brock Cunningham in the middle of the zone. He did a great job of going high-low. And there he is.
And now the hands. Brown has it. I think they got him for a trap.
Yeah, watch this, John. Watch the pass. High-low right here. Cunningham. Elbow to baseline. Textbook right here. High-low. That's how you break a zone right there. Keep it moving.
Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to get it. And how about Tuesday at 8 p.m.? Big 12 now will feature number 6 Texas and Kansas State, Oklahoma and West Virginia. 9 versus a 17. Pretty good match as well on the 16th. Iowa State and Oklahoma State. Sign up now, ESPNplus.com/Big 12 now. Big 12 standings right there. All right, so you got Baylor at 9-0, but then the next grouping with Kansas, Texas Tech, Texas, Oklahoma, West Virginia. It's interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's why this is such a, Did I tell you this? Biggest game of the year for both teams?
I know this. I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why.
But I understand. I mean, you got to. I know what you're saying. You know, you're going to put yourself in position, and you know, you can break that out more than once. Not every game, but there's a few times every year. It's like this is as big a game as we're going to play.
Right. Now, as a coach, I used to not do that. I do that only as a broadcaster. As a coach, we always said, let's start a one-game winning streak. We didn't care whether we had won 5 in a row or, hey, let's just start a one-game winning streak. But for guys like you and me who, you know, wax poetic, when you look at that standings and you see that Texas has the capability now of losing 4 out of 5, and they're the number 6 team in the country, sense of urgency really for both teams in the last 11:39.
42-41.
Can't do that.
There. Yeah, Brown pulls it down to Texas with a 1-point advantage and the basketball. Jones, jumper from deep.
I just don't think that's a shot right there, Andrew Jones. You didn't even get a chance to move the defense. I think they've proven if they move the ball side to side, high, low, they can get great looks.
Anderson contested, rattles around. Cunningham rebounds.
Yeah, Brock Cunningham is the Energizer Bunny. Already seen his impact already.
Good ball fake. Jones gets all the way to the rim. Couldn't finish, but he'll shoot 2. Now for Texas, guard play normally a huge impact on the offensive end. Today, Ramey, Coleman, and Jones have all been limited.
Well, and again, not to make excuses for them, but the last 2.5, 3 weeks for Texas has been unusual, if you will, with the COVID protocols and players coming and going. So you got to cut them a little bit of slack. And there you see, that's a great number right there. Three outstanding backcourts. Arizona State struggling. And then what can you say about Baylor that hasn't been said already? Davion Mitchell went from witness protection to now he's going to end up, he has a chance, John, to go in this draft inside the top 20. He's that good. He is so good.
Inside Anderson, count the basket and 1.
Now, Avery Anderson continues to improve. He has terrific speed and size. You know, we don't talk about Hurricane Katrina much anymore. But this is a young man whose family was relocated to the Dallas area and has made his home in the mid-cities. Played at Justin Northwest High School for a terrific coach. And you can see the numbers. He gets better and better, John.
Right by the Texas Motor Speedway.
It is. Yeah. All right, Cade's back with two fouls. 3 fouls, excuse me.
Good job by Jones stepping in the passing lane. Tied at 44. Fight for the loose ball. Brown had it ripped away. Anderson, a little sloppy there. Did Williams touch it?
Well, they're fortunate that Williams, very active athlete. Donovan Williams shot that quick 3. He's now 3 of 22 from behind the arc. Take a look right here. Hard to tell, but it's not reviewable until the final 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter.
I don't think he touched it, but
you're in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
that's correct. Yeah. Cunningham wide open. Not able to knock that one down to the corner now.
Active hands, sloppy game, and this is somebody's going to win an ugly game and feel great about it.
Way off balance for Andrew Jones.
Oh man,
And a treble that time. This is been sloppy on the offensive end. Now 17 turnovers on Shaka Smart's team.
If you're watching at home, you can't sweep the ball side to side. You got a shot fake in order to go into the lane. Side to side is almost always a travel. "17 turnovers, John, for Texas, and 13 for Oklahoma State." But as I said, I've been in a few of these games in my day, and all that matters right now is one of these teams is going to get a good, solid, ugly Big 12 win.
Anderson spinning, had it blocked. Cunningham got a piece of that, and it'll stay with Oklahoma State. 17 on the shot clock.
Yeah, you ain't scoring on Brock Cunningham now. Come on. In all seriousness, he's been such a great role player for Shaka Smart since they won 5 out of 6 at the end of last season. Local kid from Westlake High School.
Cade Cunningham, he's been quiet today. 3 in the first half, 4 in the second.
Good pass.
Up ahead, Jones able to put it in. Did Brown touch it? Guess not. 46-44, Longhorns with the lead. Andrew Jones with 14.
And a great look ahead by Brock Cunningham. Got rid of it as soon as it hit his hands.
Timeout on the court, 8:43 to go.
Watch this pass, John. A lot of hustle by Texas. Scrapping for the loose ball. Guess who? Cunningham up ahead. Andrew Jones finishes his job. Luka averaging 27, 9, and 9. The Mavs are struggling, John. And some people have compared Cade Cunningham at 6'8" to Luka Doncic. Just the way they play, move the ball. The one thing you got to remember about Luka Doncic, without any disrespect to Cade Cunningham, is at 18 years of old, he dominated the second best league in the world, the Euro League. Was just incredible playing against grown men. And, Cade, on the other hand, obviously high school and college, great career at Montverde Academy, who, by the way, lost last night for the first time in 2 years. You want to hear a crazy stat, John?
Sure.
Montverde will have more guys drafted this year than any other major college program. They have a chance to have 4 players, including the guy at the foul line, drafted in the first round. Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, Day'Ron Sharp, North Carolina. It's an incredible run. Sandro Mamukelashvili, who plays at Seton Hall, he's going to go in the second round. He played at Montverde. Philip Petrushev, who played at Gonzaga and is now playing over in Europe in the Adriatic League, he'll go in the second round, maybe the first. But Kevin Boyle down at Montverde Academy has a juggernaut. Of course, guys like Joel Embiid, D'Angelo Russell, and others. Ben Simmons, great program.
Cunningham buries a 3. They needed it.
Who's been the best Cunningham today? That's what I want to know. Brock Cunningham does what Brock Cunningham does. Comes off the bench, gives you a spark. First basket, but he's got 4 rebounds and 2 assists. And now it's Cade's turn.
He can't hit, but the rebound from Caleb Boone. So Texas on the road, the number 6 team in the country, have been on the ropes a lot of today. They lead this one by 3. And we'll be right back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. 254th meeting tonight. UNC with the all-time lead. First met back in January of 1920, and it's been super close last 10 times. It's funny, friend, they show all those games together. I remember watching, and I remember specific games, but you and I were together for the Austin Rivers winner on the road. I remember we were at an Outback Steakhouse together, eating dinner. We stopped along
coming
the
back
way
from Baylor.
so we could watch the game.
Yes, we were in Waxahachie, Texas, on the way back to Dallas after broadcasting a Baylor game. I remember that quite well, John. One of the highlights of my season that year.
Here's Brown, foul line jumper, wouldn't go. It's quite Quite a life you've carved out for yourself, Randy. Meet with Boog at the Outback Steakhouse. It was really one of the best nights of my life.
You paid. I think that's why.
I think I did. That's right. To the right side and Ramey. Texas by 3. And Coleman. Hesitation trying to draw the contact. Cunningham.
Oh, there he is.
There for the follow. Greg Brown flying in for the dunk.
Well, that's what he does. And Brock Cunningham trying to knock down his 8th three of the season after knocking down the last one. And Greg Brown, that's what he has, a great instinct for rebounding. How about Brock Cunningham guarding Cade Cunningham?
Likely looking for some help. Shot clock winding down. Anderson off the glass and good. Avery Anderson to deuce.
Can't give him the right hand. He's too fast. Got to make him go to the weak hand. You see Cunningham. Brock, he is a really good screener, John. He's out there really to create havoc. Watch him work to where he can get a ball screen.
Coleman from deep. That's way off the mark. To the corner. And a wide open look and knocked down there to tie things up.
I'll tell you, Cade Cunningham made that play. He had the ability to go all the way to the lane, and he recognized that he would make the pass to the pass that led to the open shot. Really good recognition.
Big steal right there. Jones hesitation. Finger rolls it up and in, and a foul. Wow. Huge play. Andrew Jones able to collect the steal and then lay it in, and a chance to go to the line for a three-point play.
Now let's go back and we'll show you a highlight of Greg Brown and show you that athleticism. That ball sits on the rim, and here comes the young man from Vandergrift High School. Good ball movement. And the thing you got to know about Andrew Jones, John, is that he had hip surgery along with all the leukemia treatments, 3 years of treatments. He had hip surgery for a torn labrum in the spring, and he's way more athletic than he was at any time in the last couple of years. This is a young man in 2017 that went to the NBA Combine after his freshman year with the idea that he was going to test his skills, and you're starting to see some of that come back. 17 today for Andrew Jones.
Lead back to 3. Cunningham pass inside, and a great look to seal off Caleb Boone to dunk.
And John, first of all, great pass, but Caleb Boone did a terrific job of sealing his man in the middle, and Cade threw it away from the defense. Really well done.
Caleb Boone has been excellent in this game. Brown, good look. Ty Jones. Oh, did they get Cade Cunningham with a foul? They did.
Let's go back to that last bucket. We keep praising Caleb Boone. Watch this seal. Watch him work to keep the defender on his back. And you see Jones tries to get around, goes underneath. And Cunningham, really nice job of finding Caleb Boone. But the problem now for Mike Boynton is that's the 4th foul. And I wouldn't keep this young man out long. Maybe at the net, maybe at the next dead ball, that last TV timeout.
So here we go. 3-point advantage for Texas. Oklahoma State ball. Avery Anderson. Farron Flavors on the floor.
He's wearing 31 for a reason.
I know.
31 flavors.
I know. I mean, I tip my cap to you, sir. That to have your last name be Flavors and to wear 31, we can hang out.
But right now, John, this is a rocky road for him, okay?
4:09 to go. More dad jokes coming your way. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about Oklahoma State. Let's get real. We talk about Cade Cunningham, and today he has struggled. There's no question. Usually he picks it up in the second half. This is a team that has already dropped 3 games by 3 points or less in Big 12 play. So it's time to grow up. Okay? It's time to grow up.
I really want to say my nerd thing to you, Fran.
What's that?
I mean, just that I know it's counterintuitive, but I do firmly believe that the idea that the good teams win the close games isn't true. That I think that close games become more random and the good teams beat people's butts.
Well, I don't disagree with that. This is a young team that has to, in my opinion, figure out what goes into winning. Okay. And a lot of times it's just eliminating bad plays.
Good play right there.
Yeah.
And now a chance to tie it or take the lead with a 3. What's the call? And it'll be a bump on Matt Coleman. Tight one in Stillwater. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla, Texas leading by 2. Guys, thanks. Look forward to it. All right, Cade Cunningham, we talked about it. He's had some issues in the first half. The guy's been better in the second half and really good in the last 5 minutes of the game in overtime. And are you surprised he's not back out on the court? I know he's got 4 fouls.
No, I am. I mean, can't save him now. I mean, I think he should be out there unless there's something health-wise we don't know about. But, you know, again, this is an Oklahoma State team, yes, one of the younger teams in the country, but they've lost some heartbreaking games down the stretch. And I go back to what I said earlier. I love this kid. I get the whole thing about him being a #1 pick. I'm not 100% sold. I said it from day one. I think we got to let it play out with Suggs and Mobley. Of course, by the way, John, teams are doing that right now. There's not an NBA team that has him absolutely locked city right now because there's too much basketball. By the way, he's going to come in on this free throw. But I want to see this young man dominate the game from the beginning and not wait till the final 4 minutes. But given his history, he's about to put on a show. So let's sit back and enjoy it. Back to the zone by the Cowboys. Biggest
Times 4 lead changes.
Yeah, biggest 4 minutes of the season, John, for both teams. I know I said it earlier, but it is true. Based on what's at stake in this conference.
Tied at 56, closing on 3 minutes to go. Ramey probing to the corner. Coleman 3.
Look who's
there to tip it away. Jones couldn't hit. Well, they had multiple shots at it and couldn't take the lead. Now it's Cunningham and Oklahoma State.
Good matchup. Kai Jones is a good defender for his size.
Inside, Boone, loose ball. Anderson. Might have much pass there.
He did, John. Too much traffic. But Brock Cunningham's out there causing havoc. Watch Cunningham in the middle of the zone, and he'll set screens as well. Good ball movement.
Jones wide open. Had a great look at it.
Look who got it.
Cunningham the rebound. Randy a 3. Got it. That's huge.
Listen,
6-3. Courtney Ramey buries it.
You know, he's been the best Cunningham today. Honestly, in terms of the impact on the game, Brock Cunningham, this is him. This is him to a T. He sets screens. Look at him. He's always around the basketball. And the closest he'll get to the NBA when he graduates is buying a ticket up at American Airlines Arena. But this is what helps teams win games. And his effort level is always sky high.
And remember, this is a Texas team down by 6 at the half.
State, their NCAA hopes are still alive. Their investigation appeal is still in play. Sloppy play right there by Cade. Just cannot do that.
I don't understand that length that Ty Jones possesses.
I saw Ty Jones 3 years ago and thought he had great NBA potential someday, and it's coming soon.
Step back, shot short, tracking it down is Coleman.
Well, not a good shot by Courtney Ramey. They'll get 20 more seconds. Zone, now watch Cunningham 30. He's going to set a screen and try to free somebody.
Jones from way downtown. And then Cunningham bumped into Kai Jones and caused him to travel.
Cowboys now don't need a three here. Obviously, they'll have at least 3 more possessions. Isaac Likely's been very nondescript today.
Timeout Oklahoma State. 59-56. 1:10 to go. And a reminder, later today on ESPN and the app, it's North Carolina and Duke facing off. And again, that's at 6 Eastern in Durham. And then later on after that, the battle between number 11 Tennessee and Kentucky from Rupp Arena. So Duke, Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky. It's all coming up tonight.
Well, if the last month has been any indication, then Cade Cunningham's going to probably have something up his sleeve with some heroics. But it's not been a great day for him. 9 points, 3 of 14, 4 fouls. And John, a kid that we're used to seeing play really, really well in his 3 seasons at Oklahoma State, Isaac Likely, 2 points today in 35 minutes.
Likely, junior averaging 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. It just has not been a factor in this game. Anderson here, ball fake. Likely has it. Now the give off and Cunningham. It's a 3.
There you go. There you go. Right on cue. He's got that clutch, Gene.
Timeout Texas, 59 apiece.
That's a pro move right there. Not the first time this season Cade Cunningham has come up with a shot like that. Now he's 6'8", shoots it over a really good Bulldog defender in Courtney Ramey, but nothing Ramey can do about it right there.
Cade Cunningham with a dozen points in this one, just 4 of 15 from the floor.
So if you're Texas now, John, the likelihood is you're not going 2 for 1 here because teams will not in college rush a bad shot. Although in the NBA, this would definitely be a 2 for 1 situation. You get the shot up by 40 if your shot is smart. They don't have the proclivity to do that, as I recall. So they have to get the best shot they can. And Oklahoma State, regardless, in a 1-possession game is going to get a chance to tie or win this game.
Possession arrow belongs to Oklahoma State. Only 5 team fouls on the Cowboys. Meanwhile, 10 team fouls on Texas.
It's a good point. It's the last thing you say out of the timeout huddle. We have 1 timeout left. The possession arrow is ours. So if there is a loose ball, take the jump ball and don't waste the timeout because it's our ball. Remember, Texas has
given them really good minutes inbounds.
Yep. Texas has 3 playmakers that they can go to.
And a reach there as they get Likely, and that'll be team foul number 6. So out of bounds on the side.
See, John, when I have 3 playmakers, I'm going to look at the defense and say, which guard can we exploit? Now, Isaac Likely's a pretty good defender. I'm not sure he's the guy I would pick on, but let's see.
Coleman on Anderson. Coleman puts it up. That one rattles out. And
a foul.
Boone pulls it down.
I think you foul here.
59.
Oh, my fault. Tie score, yep. On Wednesday night, they did not call timeout, and they allowed the game to play out. And Cade Cunningham went early, and it allowed TCU to get the ball back and win the game. Let's see.
Cunningham here. Shot clock winding down. Cunningham too strong. Brock Cunningham rips it away. Kick up ahead at the buzzer. And we're going to overtime.
So Cade learned from Wednesday night. He held the ball a little bit longer so that Texas wouldn't get a good look.
A little too strong. Headed to OT. 59 apiece. Oklahoma State and Texas. Welcome back. Tied at 59. We're headed to overtime. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla. Cade Cunningham with a dozen. Had that three-pointer for the lead. And could knock it down. What do you anticipate here in the next 5, Franny?
Well, you're walking on eggshells if you're Cade Cunningham because you want to stay aggressive, but you do have 4 fouls, but they still have to make him the focal point. Likely's been quiet today. He's only got 2, but he can be a nuisance when he goes into the post.
Oh, boy. Who was that? I think Coleman whacked Cade Cunningham right across the face. Cunningham down low. Wouldn't go. Coleman rebounds it.
Cowboys back to Milan. They're going to stay zone. 2-3 zone. It's been good for them today.
Coleman, that's a 3. Way off the mark.
Texas guards have really struggled today. Only 9 field goals, 40 shots roughly.
Texas as a team shooting 29%. Anderson on the move. Loose ball tipped to Coleman.
And those guards are now 9 for 39. But again, John, in a game like this, trust me, the winner will feel like $1 million because of what's at stake.
Inside Ramey, he'll go to the line.
And they put Ramey in the middle of that zone. He went right at Caleb Boone.
Texas 5 for 29 from 3. They have hit the free throws in this one, 14 to 17. With the last 10. Last 11.
Well, this is one of those games for a veteran team like Texas where you play lousy and you still have to find a way to win because these are the kind of games that define your season. We've seen Texas be better than this. And of course, they're coming off of a COVID break that's really set them back. But it will not matter if they come away with a win on the road. The same thing is true for an Oklahoma State team, young, who has lost some tough, close games. Trying to post Cade. See how many people are surrounding him?
Inside.
Oh, man. And this young man goes for 20 and 11 today so far. Second double-double in the last 3 games. See, they're using Cunningham as an outlet and also as a screener.
To the corner, Jones. Andrew Jones has had a number of shots at it. He's 2 for 11 from 3. Anderson Anderson almost lost it.
Yeah, he needs to get that ball out of that corner.
Triple team.
Man.
Back in double team. Cade Cunningham. Short. Brock able to gather it in. Lob. And Kai Jones is fouled by Avery Anderson.
And I'm not sure Shaka Smart didn't want to charge in that last play, but watch Caleb Boone go to work inside. Young man from Tulsa Memorial who was offered a scholarship by Mike Boynton before he played a varsity game. He and his twin brother Keelan. And you see the continued development. This kid reminds me so much of the guys that played under Eddie Sutton in the 90s and the 2000s. And there you see Kai Jones high jumping right there. Little body, that's a good call. Cowboy fans don't like it. But one thing I like about Kai Jones, along with that great athleticism, John, is his skill level. Watch that shooting stroke. Young man from the Bahamas.
It's 1 out of 2. Texas grabs the lead. Cade Cunningham handling 2.5 to go in overtime.
Texas will flock to Cade Cunningham.
Inside Cunningham. Caleb Boone able to follow and put it in.
And that's what a big man should do right there. Just get to the backside of the basket, anticipate the drive, and anticipate the miss.
Ramey had it knocked away. It'll stay with Texas.
Watch the strong move by Cade Cunningham. He gets downhill on Jones. And then here comes Caleb Boone. Matt Coleman can do nothing with the 6'8 youngster from Tulsa Memorial High School, former state champion.
On the way for Caleb Boone, 22 is a new career high. Jones gets blocked. Do they call the foul? I think they did.
Yeah, great inbounds play. Little fake handoff right there. That was a Meadowlark Lemon look right there from Kai Jones. He almost put the ball under his jersey to hide it. But he was able to get to the basket. Got to make your free throws. Kai Jones,
that free throw shooter.
All right. You know who's got the ball. They will flock to Cunningham like the Swallows flock to Capistrano, John, when he gets downhill. Keep your eye on those orange jerseys.
Kick out Anderson with Brock Cunningham on him. Gets bodied a little bit, flips it up, wouldn't go. Kai Jones rebounds. Cade Cunningham takes it away. Left hand, and Cunningham is fouled. And he's frustrated that he didn't finish, but he'll go to the line and shoot 2. 1:35 to go in our first OT.
Yeah, but a great play by Cade, John. You know what happened? Kai Jones was trying to bust out, dribble on the rebound, just to get away from traffic, and Cade was kind of lurking and poked it loose and got a chance to get the Cowboys the lead.
And he does right there.
Watch Kai Jones. He's just trying to get out of traffic right now. But in doing so, Cade Cunningham sneaks in from behind and steals it.
Number 4, Greg Brown in the Longhorns.
So 2-point game, 1:35 to go. We're going to send it back to the studio in Carl Ravage.
Boog, thank you very much. So a good game there. We'll see what happens tonight. North Carolina and Duke, 6 Eastern time on ESPN. Armando Bacot, last meeting against Duke, okay. Last game, not great. He's going to likely have to deal with Jalen Johnson.
He's going to have to go out and guard on the floor against Johnson and look for Duke to put Johnson in a bunch of isolations off that elbow.
Boog, just behind the scenes, Greenberg is running from studio to studio and nailing it.
That's what I do.
Yeah, he does. That's right. So here in Stillwater, Cowboys and the Longhorns, 1:35 to go. Texas has been held to 29% from the floor. Cade Cunningham, 4 of 19 from the floor today for the Cowboys, 14 points. And the peak of the Big 12 standings, Oklahoma State at 4 and 5. Texas got off to the good start, but they've dropped 3 of their last 4. And this is only their 3rd game since January 16th.
Been bit by the COVID bug for sure. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, a young team growing up. We've seen the emergence of Avery Anderson and Caleb Boone today. Cade Cunningham hasn't had his best game, but we know what he's done this season already down the stretch. And John, just to go back, the NCAA last June 5th put Oklahoma State in a probation situation. They were scheduled to miss this tournament, the NCAA tournament, because the appeal date has not been set. As of right now, Oklahoma State is eligible for the tournament. That's why this game is so critical. Man-to-man.
Here we go.
I like that. See, I like that. That's playing chess right there. It's good. Shaka Smart picked the one defender he felt could be exploited, and Ramey took Bryce Williams right off the dribble in a quick whistle.
Ramey gets that one.
Looks like Bryce Williams took a shot on that play.
All right, Jones checks back in. We're tied at 65, 1:20 to go.
And Kai checks back in. Yeah, he's got 4, John, but Shaka Smart wants his defense on the floor. He and Brock Cunningham really make that defense go. All right, where's Cade?
He's got the smaller Matt Coleman on him.
They're going to zone. They're going to watch how much help he's given.
Cunningham inside, shot short, loose ball. Cunningham pulls it down, kicks it back out.
Throw it back to him. Watch the orange jerseys crowd. Cunningham. See, he's got to get it out of there. Look at Brock Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham.
Wow, he needed to get that ball out of the corner, John. Too nonchalant.
Ramey pull up, blocked.
All right, now here we go. Here we go. Mike Boynton usually doesn't call timeout here. He did it against TCU, but he's going to do it right now.
21.9 to go in overtime, 20 on the shot clock.
Watch this now. You see Brock Cunningham. He's waiting for the ball to go on the floor, and then he's going to attack like a piranha. Great play by Brock Cunningham. But watch the other end now. Here comes the drive. There's Bryce Williams, who was exploited right the play before that. And now we go to the final play. So, John, on Wednesday night in Fort Worth, I happened to be there as a fan. I did get in free, by the way. But what happened was, tie game, 20 seconds to go. And here we go. Let's take a look. And normally, in this situation, you hold for the last shot. Cunningham drove in with 16, and that allowed TCU to go back down the floor and score. They're going to charge, but they scored. And so Mike Boynton decided here, let me coach the team. Let's get the ball. Let's get a timeout. Let's get our wits about us. Let's get it in. And now what he's got to determine, John, is where can he put the ball in Cade Cunningham's hands where he's going to have the least amount of burnt orange jerseys around him. That's going to be the key.
All right, so rewind makes it a shot and a rebound, right? So when do you run it?
Unless you get a wide open layup because of a breakdown, this shot should not go up until 5 or less. Okay, and if you don't get the offensive rebound and you miss the shot, you go to double overtime. You do not give Texas a possession right here. Let's see who Texas will have guarding Cade Cunningham, and they continue to put Matt Coleman out there. One thing Coleman does really well, because he's low to the ground, is he fronts Cunningham well. I would put the ball in Cunningham's hands at the top of the key or somewhere in space.
Right now, it is likely Cunningham comes to it and the give off. Back to Cunningham. Here's Cade. Feed inside for Boone, and they threw it away. Wow.
He threw a one-handed pass that slipped off his right hand as Boone rolled to the rim. Take a look. See that ball slips off his right hand inaccurately. And now, John, I've said it many times, this happened by accident in a practice when I was coaching in Manhattan College. 4 seconds means minimum 4 dribbles, maybe 5. And if it's 4 dribbles, you still have time for a pass, as Texas now has to go lane to the floor. They're reviewing this because the clock stops as soon as the ball touches something that's out of bounds. I lost a game to St. John's one year when I was at Manhattan because my point guard, with 5 seconds to go, took 2 dribbles and threw it up from midcourt. We went back and practiced it the next day. That ball's out of bounds. You see, they're probably going to add a tenth of a second or 2. But we went back to practice the next way, John, and I proved to my team they could go coast to coast in 4 or 5 seconds and 1 dribble per second. The key for Texas right now is to get the ball on the move heading towards their basket.
So 4.4 to go.
You'd ideally like to inbound this ball at the foul line extended, and I promise you that any one of those 3 Texas guards can get to the rim in 4.4.
Coleman, Jones, Ramey, the 3 most likely to take that shot.
Remember, Matt Coleman has made 2 buzzer beater shots in the last 20 or so games at Oklahoma and against North Carolina.
Oh my goodness! Cade Cunningham he was in close and point-blank range. He could not finish.
Wow! Take a look. That's a 7'2" wingspan right there, and he just couldn't make the shot. Oh my goodness. He knows he could have been on SportsCenter tonight, the lead story, but he still may know. Who knows?
Tell you what, Franny, I don't know when the last time I saw that, where the inbound defender at the end of a game situation stole it and put it in. Now he didn't, but I'm saying
at the buzzer, yeah. Well, he knows. So I don't know why Brock Cunningham was throwing. He looked like he was throwing cross court. Now, point 4 now. Theoretically, there's still time for catch and shoot. By rule, point 3 or less has to be a tip in. So I'm thinking tip in at the rim for Boone with the passer being Cade Cunningham. Let's see. And if you're Texas, do not foul the lob.
.65 apiece. 0.4 left on the clock in overtime. And Mike Boynton.
Oh, they're going to look at this.
Quick chat with Keith Kimball.
Now look at this. Take a look now. Watch Cade. I don't know why Brock Cunningham was throwing. He's throwing across court, but this ball is going to be out of bounds with 1.2, which means that opens up more options. Catch
Cunningham to inbound. Lob. Boom. Wouldn't go, and we're going to double overtime. We head to overtime number 2. Number 6, Texas on the road. And Oklahoma State giving them all they can handle. 65 apiece.
IT perhaps in a loss, Boog.
I hope we have an NIT.
Yeah, fair enough.
Watch the hands right here. Again, that 7'2" wingspan, and then Cunningham just trying to get that ball up on the rim. I'm not even sure he located the basket, John, but he had a chance to be the hero of the first overtime. Here it is. Watch. Brock Cunningham is breathing a sigh of relief.
Texas and Oklahoma State tied at 65.
Now remember this, John. Oklahoma State has 3 starters with 4 fouls. Anderson, Caleb Boone, and Cade Cunningham. So they're going to walk on eggshells on the defensive end. And if you're Shaka Smart, I would exploit those 4 fouls if I could. Now they're going to post Likely.
Williams gets inside. Hanks can't hit. Jericho Sims pulls it down.
I think Mike Boynton's going to go back to the 2-3 zone because he's got some guys out there with 4.
Coleman probing, gets a piece of the paint. Ramey. And Boone pulls down the rebound. Caleb Boone's been excellent. 22 points, a dozen rebounds. Almost the takeaway there from Cade Cunningham. Rebound right there as Likely was able to grab it. Now Anderson inside. And gets it to go. Avery Anderson the deuce. And his boys leading.
How about Avery? He's been terrific today. 15, 9 rebounds for a guard. They're going to sit in that zone, force Texas to make some jump shots.
Ramey had it rejected. Up ahead, and the deuce there for Bryce Williams.
You know what you loved about that? Caleb Boone with 4 fouls. He kept his body away from the driver, but used his length to challenge. Well done.
Jones into the paint. Coleman as they move the basketball. Closing in on the 3-minute mark of overtime number 2. Jones. Ramey fade away from the elbow. And it's brought down by Boone.
How about Caleb Boone, John? 14 rebounds today for the sophomore. He was about $170 when he was in high school. Oh, they had him on the roll.
Likely gets inside. Sims pulls down the rebound. Here's Coleman. Shooting it wide open. Jones, wide open shot. Can't hit. Andrew Jones, 2 for 12 from 3 today.
And this Texas team is shooting about 26% today.
They're 15% from 3. 5 for 33. And a takeaway there. Here come the Longhorns. Down by 4. Under 2 to go. And our second overtime. Ramey hangs and gets fouled.
Now take a look, John. This is what got Oklahoma State the lead. Watch the drive and watch Boone stay on his feet and just leaves at the last minute, and that leads to the run out by the Ole Miss transfer Bryce Williams. But Caleb Boone continues to grow up before Cowboy fans' eyes. I think of the Graham twins. I think of Ivan McFarland back in the 2000s. All those terrific, long, athletic years that Eddie Sutton coached, the Hall of Famer.
So a 2-point game, 69-67, and Cade Cunningham. Jumper. Big time. Big three for Cade Cunningham, and they're up 5.
Pretty step back right there.
Timeout, Texas.
An up and down day for Cade Cunningham, but he's made some crucial plays. Watch the step back right now. In rhythm, knocking it down behind the arc. Good defense, better offense from the freshman from Arlington, Texas. Take a look, step back, and because he's 6'8", there's really nothing Matt Coleman can do with that. Well, that says a lot, John, right there. We've said it. Slow first half, builds up some momentum, comes through down the stretch, and today it's a double overtime game. And not only is this a big game, but Monday night, if they're able to win, they will go to Allen Fieldhouse with a chance to sweep Kansas for the second time in Mike Boynton's young career.
So again, Big 12 standings, the one thing you know, Baylor is perfect, 9-0. But then the next group with West Virginia and Oklahoma, Texas, Texas Tech, and Kansas, all over 500. But the Longhorns have dropped 3 of their last 4, and the Cowboys needing a win at home to pull it in 500 in the conference.
Yeah, we can't minimize the COVID pause that Texas had.
Yep.
You know, behind the scenes, we didn't really know much about it, but I will tell you this. This is a Texas team today that just looks like it's not a confident basketball team. When you consider that they're number 6 in the country, yes, they've been through a rough patch, but I don't see the confidence and the swag that we saw earlier in the season.
Ramey inside. I think that Boone got a piece of it.
He did, John, and he kept his body away from the driver. He let Ramey get by him and just reached out without any contact and made a great play.
Coleman on Cunningham.
1 minute to play, less than 1 minute remaining.
Cade Cunningham, and now Kai Jones on him. Cunningham gets inside, ball fake, and he gets fouled.
Let's go back and watch Caleb Boone again. Watch how gently he lets the ball get by him, and then he waits. And he just gets a piece from behind Ramey. Really well done. Playing with 4 fouls.
Caleb Boone, 22 points, 15 rebounds, both career highs.
Tell you what, throw those 4 blocks in as well. We're going to call Cade Cunningham the Late Show.
Coleman inside, had it rejected.
One more time. Again, Caleb Boone. He's going to let you go first, and then he'll say, okay, you jump first. Go ahead.
A career high 5 blocks for Caleb Boone. Brock Cunningham, ball fake 3. Off the mark, rebound pulled down by Likely. And now they foul on purpose. You're in double overtime, Oklahoma State pushing ahead, leading by 7. The young Cowboy team showed a lot of poise today.
Yeah, they have, John. You know, this was an ugly game for about 35 minutes. Cade wasn't at his best. We expected him down the stretch to be what he's been all year, which is clutch. But Avery Anderson, Caleb Boone particularly, have really continued to be bright spots for Mike Boynton's young team.
Avery Anderson's first career double-double.
Bishop Loughlin High School, played for Eddie Folger and Dave Odom in South Carolina. He's been well schooled. He's done a great job with this program.
That one misses all of it. Boone grabs it. Jones fouls Boone. And this one getting the closing time.
This sets up a great showdown on Monday night. Kansas coming off another loss on the road. 6 losses. The young Oklahoma State team continues to grow up.
Texas, by the way, in both overtimes, 0 for 10 combined.
Yep. And remember, it was Cade Cunningham that may have saved the day, John, with that steal. Because if that pass gets to Matt Coleman, we might have a different ball game with 4.4 seconds to go.
Yep. Let me correct that. 0 for 12 in both overtimes for Texas.
Got to shoot the first open 3. Got to shoot it. It's a 3-possession game.
Yeah. Out of bounds.
Yeah. That's one of those cases. Yeah, that's one of those cases where you just got to put up a quick shot. You know, you always say don't shoot a quick 3. That's where you shoot a quick 3.
Yep. Yep.
Because it's a 3-possession game.
Now, Cade Cunningham just 5 of 22 from the floor, but hit that monster 3 in the second overtime. Finishes with 19, and Mike Boynton's group gets a huge win. He is pumped up. In 2 overtimes, Oklahoma State wins it 75-67. A tough loss for Shaka Smart's group, as they have now dropped 4 of 5.
But a huge stepping stone for the Cowboys to get back to the NCAA tournament. Assuming that the NCAA appeal will not be held in time, they will be eligible, and they're likely to be one of 7 Big 12 teams that at this point in the season are heading to the Big Dance.
Franchise enjoyed it. Cade Cunningham with 19. Caleb Boone 22 and 15. 75-67. Oklahoma State beats number 6 Texas in 2 overtimes. For Fran Fraschilla and our entire outstanding crew, I'm John Shambi. So long from Stillwater, Oklahoma.